have identified the fact that this country, Nigeria, is built on a faulty foundation, and something has to be done, and fastly too, to ensure that the house does not cave in or collapse. We have spoken about the need to restructure this country so that the component parts can breathe. We have identified the fact that the present federal system of government being run is skewed and favors one section of the country to the detriment of the others. We have also looked at the monkey they walk, baboon they chop attitude of the present system, where those who contribute next to nothing to the federation account get more than those who contribute mostly into the income of the federation. We have looked at the incongruity of the present component states of the federation, depending on the federal government for their monthly subvention, as it were, a kind of feeding bottle arrangement. We have equally looked at how our diversities and dichotomies have militated against becoming a united Nigeria. Also, we have talked about the fact that, as opposed to what our leaders say, the unity of this country is indeed negotiable. That is, it is now time for us to jointly decide what political structure and system we want for Nigeria.
One particular tribe repressing the whole of us. The next thing he should do, tell him if you know him, is to restructure this country. Nigeria is a fraud. Just a department, the operation department of Central Bank, to be moved back to Lagos, where you have 99% of the headquarters of bank. The North is agitated. Don't take Abuja back to Lagos. They don't care. If you all become beggars, it's okay for their oligarchic mentality. I talk like no other pastor talk. I talk like no other pastor talk. Because I have seen into governance, I have seen into the church. And I know where the problem is in this country. Are you hearing me? They may not like what I'm saying, but they cannot dispute the truth. This country cannot go on like this. Okay, I was talking about those who migrated. I don't blame those that want to japa. You know, initially I was saying don't japa. Do you hear me say that again? Japa if you want to japa. Because you look at the country and say, what future? If it goes on like this, what future? If it goes on like this, civil war is imminent. If it goes on like this, military intervention is imminent. Do we want to go back to that? No. Something must happen. I have always believed that something must happen. Do you see the way we pray in this church? Make Nigeria one. We don't pray. Nigeria is not one, and it can never be one. We are different nations tied together by force. We should still be one country, but let everyone govern himself the way he likes. Are you hearing me? Let the Niger Delta have their oil. Let the East have their resources. Let the Yoruba people have their resources. Let the North have their resources. Let them manage their security. Give them state police. Let everybody guard his borders. Let everybody generate his economy. Why must we generate oil in the Niger Delta and take it to the North? Why must we generate IGR here, or the VATs, and take it to the North? That generate nothing. The 10 key northern states have Sharia. Sharia says no to alcohol. Sharia says no to tobacco. But alcohol and tobacco is what give us VAT here. And you take the money from there to spend where you say you don't want, but you like the money. Fraud.
A federation in which one part of the country can take all decisions in spite of what the others think is an unstable federation, and in fact it's not, properly speaking, a federation. The second reason why the 1954 Constitution was also not a federal constitution, because it cannot work, is that Preston King, one of the experts in federalism, argued that a country in which one part of it, one dominant part of it, is more monarchical than democratic, definitely federation will not work. It will not work because A monarchy is a centralizing institution. The problem of Nigeria is foundation. And unless you look at it really structurally, we will be unable to solve our problem. Why is it that our yesterday is better than our today? Why is it that our best time is yesterday? Why is it that today is not better than yesterday? Why is it that tomorrow we are not sure will be better than today? Why is it that we put out family fathers into practical sons and daughters? Why at least not be able to produce a government as eminent as Michael O'Mara? Why? Why has the servant not been able to produce? And I will know what it is. Why have they not failed to produce a humble, the golden voice of Africa, the God by you? Why have we failed? Why have we failed? And looking at why we have failed, we will be looking at how we can get out of the rut. Why is it that in Nigeria, you call a bricklayer to be the fence for you? The fence collapses. You want to rebuild the fence, you will bring the same bricklayer. Why do you do that? Why do you recycle the same people who set up a plug in the political circuit of this country for as far back as 1960? Why are we behaving like Michael Sparrow in Spain? Said so, said so, no originality. Why are we not improving? Why are we suffering from mental poverty? You go to churches, the sermons are getting poorer. You go to pubs, the YCs are getting poorer. You go to university, the teachings are getting poorer.
As a people, we have a lot of questions on issues of fairness, equity, and justice. We have issues on inclusivity of all nations as a people, with their respect accorded to them. We must also agree that Nigeria actually needs a total overhaul, which this regard is all about. Representing my president, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask this question. Between 1995 and now, when Ken Saro-Wiwa was hanged and 8 others of the Ogoni people, to what extent have we pushed for their exoneration? This is one key issue that I think this gathering should think about.
There is question about our identity. There is question about our unity. There is question about our relationships. Who are you? You need to answer that question. We've not really identified ourselves as being one.
Could it be cultural diversities?
It's everything. Okay. In those days, there was one North, one destiny. I hope you know that time.
One nation, one destiny.
It became one nation, one destiny. Immediately, the war started. It became no nation, no destiny. We have no destiny if we do not have a nation of our own. So what they call one nation, one destiny became no nation, no destiny. You go to a particular town. Okay, in Ibadan. I can easily tell you where Hausas live.
Just like you get to Kaduna.
If you get to Kaduna, I can always tell you where Yorubas live.
Yes. Is it that we have not fused?
No, you see, this fusion goes beyond just living together. We have to accept the fact that there is something in you that is in my benefit that I need.
And you must identify that it's not in your interest to harm me. But for now, if you like, die. In fact, I can kill you. That's what people are doing. So the national question is real.
But one issue,
you need a national identity.
But when you see Nigerians outside the country, they see themselves as Nigerians. But within the country, that is where you begin to take note of this dichotomy.
Do I shock you? It's even worse outside. Whether you believe it or not, occasionally I travel. They have Igbo Union in Texas. They have Yoruba Union in Texas. They have Hausa Union in Texas. It's even worse. It's easier for me to relate with a Fulani man that is in Sabo here than a Fulani man that we won't even visit. You know, that place is even worse because no interaction. You're on your own. The fact is this: go to South Africa and you will see how divided Nigeria is. So we need to get to terms with the fact that we must consciously sit down to say, how do we relate? How can I trust you? You see, when I say somebody will not greet you, it's because he can't trust you. What I want to discuss with you, the level of trust deficit in Nigeria, inter-ethnic distrust, is so huge that if Makinde should bring forward, Makinde is the governor of Oyo State, if he should bring forward a particular policy now, without reading the details of that policy, the fact is, this man is Yoruba. He must have written something that is against Hausa. You already assume. I read what Shehu Sani said a while ago. They were talking about tax reform. Shehu Sani said, when he read the first comments, he decided to go and get the bill. He got the bill, sat down, read it, and the person that made the comment that made him say that, he called him and said, take, this is the bill. Kindly show me where what you said is in this bill. And the guy was looking at him and said, no, somebody said he read. Now, the fact is, immediately it is Tinubu that did it. No, Igbo man must oppose. Hausa man must oppose. If it is during the days of Buhari, once Buhari put something forward, it's because he is Fulani. He hates Yoruba. No, he hates Igbo. He hates Kanuri. How long can we live together without an iota of trust? There is need for us to talk. See, the idea is this: we are not the only one. We are not the only country that is having multiple ethnicity. I'm sure you are aware, at a particular time, United States of America went to war. There was civil war there. I've always been talking about Switzerland. Switzerland went to war. They were fighting each other like in fact, their own was that they even demarcate their names.
We've had our own war.
We've had our no. The idea really is this: the way we are marched together is part of the problem. Switzerland was just 3 countries. Right? They fought. Eventually, it became one. Right? About 60% of Switzerland is Germans. But it doesn't make any difference. They were able to live together. But they negotiated. That's where I'm going. In America, no, 1778. They went to Philadelphia to sit down to say, yes, look, why all this acrimony? And they came together to form a union. They formed America. America did not form them. The same thing happened in India. So we are not the only one. The problem we are having is that somehow we've not been able to really sit down. We don't need to go to war. You know, we did not fight to get independence. Right? We were talking everywhere, shouting, newspaper articles, radio debate. We can still do that if our forefathers were wise enough to know how to chase Britain away. We can still do that. There is nothing like a particular tribe doing something. Let me shock you. There is no single tribe, no single ethnic group in Nigeria that is bigger in reality than Yoruba.
Really? Even the North?
That's the truth. That's the basic truth.
North is not a single ethnic group.
I'm happy you are using the right word. The impression.
But that's like the landmass.
How do you equate
occupied by ethnic groups?
How do you equate landmass with a single entity? No.
You just said
in what you call North, yes, for instance. Yes. I'm not sure if you count up to 350 major ethnic groups
in the North.
In the North.
The Tibis, the Birons.
You have the thieves there. Mm-hmm. What you call North. You even have Yorubas there. Are you doubting that?
Not at all. When you look at Kogi, Kwara, these are not right states.
Now, are you telling me the man in Niger State, is an Hausa man? These are Takwa people.
But
they are Kanuris.
They always go the same way.
That's what you think. The man that was talking there, I'm not the one that spoke for him. And I think you were at that meeting. You saw some people couldn't sit. The way the man was talking. There was heat. I don't know where the heat was coming from. In the chair, some people sat on. They were just moving. The truth is this. We all need to sit down. Have you heard of Northern Middle Belt Forum before? When they said North is one. I'm talking of just about a month ago. The truth is, I love the word you use, impression.
Imagination.
Is what you imagine. Right? And even if they are that big, 65%, 60-something% of what we call Singapore, Switzerland, are Germans.
So,
yes, they are not able to, the Romans that are there, I'm not sure if they are more than 1%. You can't oppress them. They agree. If you are to live together, these are the terms.
And so the TRG will want all these ethnic nationalities, as many as we have in Nigeria, to sit down, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Everyone sitting down, but let Ibadans sit down with your yours. You don't need. The man in Meduguri does not necessarily need to come and sit down with me and say he wants to live with me. There are people that will be born and they will perish in Ibadan. They will never cross the river Niger.
Dikim, look at Canada.
Yes, okay. That's good. Quebec.
You have the British, you have the French.
Yes.
How have they been able to manage that we cannot as a people?
Exactly what we are saying. They sat down. It became a reality that, look, I'm aware you are married. And I'm sure there will be an occasion that you will have, why do you put this water here? Right? You have to understand my weakness. Right? Maybe we can even say, shout at each other, why not? So, the French, the Englishman from Britain, they came together and Quebec said nobody speaking English around here. We are French. And it was allowed. Right? In their assembly, in everything, they speak French.
Yet they are Canadians.
Yes, they are Canadians. So you will find two Canadians seated beside each other, and they don't speak the same language.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. I know a whole lot of Nigerians today are feeling the heat for the fact that we are united, and for the fact that different regions with different tribes and different culture were united together by the British, formed to become a single entity, even though they don't align together on so many things. And you know what? This was the genesis and the beginning of our problem, the amalgamation of Nigeria. The problem this thing has created for us today is more than what we cannot even talk about. And as it stands today, a solution is not even yet in sight because we keep on getting divided along different lines every day. And if we don't come together to have a singular decision or to have a unanimous decision on what to do to salvage the situation, then I'm sorry, disaster will be imminent. When you live together with people, then you form this bossy mentality and having this idea or this mentality that you are more superior to them or you are more superior to the other regions when you don't even contribute enough to the growth of the economy or to the development of the country itself, then you're making a recipe for division and destruction. The North knows that even though they have the largest landmass, they contribute little to the growth of this country, and for this reason alone, they should know that other regions are not going to be tolerating their excesses for too long. The North has far too long taken the other regions for a ride. They feel they can dictate for the country and they feel anything they say should stand. They believe without them, there is nothing like Nigeria, and they believe that without them supporting any agenda or any decision, there is no way it can stand. And over time, when this narrative is being propagated, it will get to the other regions and it will get to the point that they will say that they will no longer take it. And this is the point. It has gotten to the point that they are saying that they can no longer take it. The South have woken up now and they are saying that we need a better structure in this country. That if they can't get a better structure for us, a better structure of governance for this country, then the country should be divided or we should go back to regional government. Because Peter cannot be working, contributing, yet robbing to people that doesn't contribute anything. In real sense, regional government is what we need at the moment. We shouldn't be talking about any other thing today again because there are so many things that are skewed in favor of the North that are not contributing anything to Nigeria. And this is one of the reasons why they have the guts to make some of the bold claims they are making. It is time for us to say enough is enough. It is time for us to reach a consensus and have a unanimous agreement and decision to say that let's go back to regional government. Kindly drop what you have to say in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.